FTL, if you've ever played that.
Yeah, I love FTL.
And every time you start a new game, you are given a whole new crew, a new map to explore, a new ship. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, start by showing you the galaxy map. So here you can see very kind of retro aesthetic, really influenced by a lot of the kind of old school sci-fi films.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, it comes across straight away is the aesthetic. You know, you see that 3D in the Unreal Engine, but to go to these screens and that media kind of transfusion to it, you're immediately compelled.
I feel like it's like you get a retro game inside a very ambitious, high-tech next-gen game.
Yeah.
So for an old person like me, I'll probably just mill about in these computers.
No, I love it whenever you see these old school stuff in games.
So you've got a procedurally generated map, so it's a different experience every time you go in. There's multiple planets. But what I'll do is I'll also give you a quick tour of our ship at the moment. So we're on the bridge at the moment, and then we've got the crew quarters.
Oh, that's nice. Nice little couch.
We've got the greenhouse, which is responsible for creating all the oxygen that the crew needs to survive. So we've already got, I believe, what's that? Is that a hangar on our ship? Oh, no, yes, yeah, we've got a hangar. Cool.
Okay.
But what I'll do is I'll also show you some of the shipbuilding mechanics.
So I imagine as a shipbuilding game as well, you're going to start with a really basic kind of ship, and you can get these things that unlock them later on in the game.
Exactly. So the way it works is you'll uncover kind of technology that will allow you to kind of build new parts of your ship. You'll also have to gather resources in order to carry on building.
Right. Okay.
So here's the shipbuilding menu. Here you can see, like you said, we start off with a small ship, but we're going to keep expanding it.
Yeah.
So let's build some corridors. Okay. And it's kind of quite a simple kind of snap mechanic where you can see it's kind of it's fairly intuitive to actually use. Let's build a hyperdrive as well, because it turns out an engine is quite important for space travel.
Kind of need that, yeah, definitely.
But what I like the most is the fact that the moment you build something in the build menu, you can then actually go and explore it.
Yeah.
So here's
if
the
you are
corridors
thinking,
we just built.
What's that going to be like? It doesn't matter, because you can go and see it for yourself.
Exactly. Here's our new hyperdrive.
Oh, that's awesome. And if you don't like where something is, you can like recycle things, I imagine?
Yeah, you can destroy it and build a new area.
Yeah, cool.
So we really wanted to make sure that the player feels a sense of ownership over their ship, so they can build it, in any way that they want. They can also go kind of an extra step and basically change the colour of either just a segment of the ship or the entire ship. They can rename every single room.
Very cool.
I'm going to go for the
hot pink. It's got to be hot pink, right?
Yeah, I tend to go for the most garish colour schemes I can make. So let's colour the entire ship.
Wow, there you go. That's hot. I'm invested. That's good.
So as I mentioned, a big part of it is about collecting resources in order to keep expanding your ship and continue on your journey. So what we're going to do is send this this ship down to a planet to gather resources for us.
Okay.
Well, you'll get the same ship every time at the start, and then you'll build on it off that basic framework.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And what you'll end up with is a ship that will be kind of wildly different from other players.
And there's permadeath as well, being a roguelike. If your ship fails and you've built this awesome ship with little, all the little specialties, your perfect colour scheme, but it blows up, it's gone forever.
It makes you feel so much more attached to your crew and your ship.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, obviously, it's got some FPS mechanics as well. Is that happens on the ship? Will you be leaving the ship, or is it all based on the ship?
So in terms of the actual shooting, aliens can actually end up coming back to your ship. So the harvester will go down to the planet and gather the resources. But if any aliens can stow aboard the ship, they can actually end up on your ship, and you've got to defend.
Oh, so you have stowaways trying to smuggle on and stuff like that. So there's the risk when you're sending this down that they might bring back some cargo that you didn't want.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So your crew members almost act as your lives, because if you die, another crew member will be promoted to captain, and then you play as that crew member.
Oh, awesome. Right.
So you're encouraged to create new crew members, which are all clones. So cloning is a big part of the game.
Okay.
So that not only can you assign them to work on the ship to make it work more efficiently, but also they are effectively your lives, because if everyone dies on the ship, then it's game over. You start again. So it's a game that is designed to be played in multiple rounds.
Okay, but it's too risky to send yourself down to the surface. You wanna send your ship. You wanna send your.
The captain. The captain go in the trenches.
Exactly.
Stays at the back of the battlefield.
Stays with the ship.
Yeah.
So this is one of the threats in Genesis Alpha 1. It's actually a race called Mechanics, and you'll learn a little bit more about kind of their origin and their place in the galaxy.
Oh, so there's lore involved
Alien
as
as
well
well.
as you find and discover. You'll find out about the different races.
Yeah,
in
so
the world.
it's not kind of a massively story-heavy game. Basically, the concept is... Oh, I'm being attacked, I think, from somewhere. The concept is basically that planet Earth is doomed, resources are running out, the governments are corrupt. So basically, these corporations join together to create the Genesis Initiative. And the idea is to send aliens to send these ships out into space to find a new home for humanity.
Okay.
So
that's your end game. Is actually
yeah,
to find
your end
somewhere
game
habitable.
each time you start a new round is essentially to find a planet where your crew can inhabit.
Okay.
So that's kind of your main objective. But there's apparently I've not got all of them. Actually, I'm just going to make my life easier for a moment to set down a couple of turrets.
Cheeky little turrets. Nice. That's cool. So I guess you were talking about resource management before as well. I imagine that clones are probably quite expensive, right?
Yeah, so essentially you've got to gather DNA, and that's one of the exciting elements of the game. So if you look here, actually, there's some alien DNA.
Right.
And what I can do is I can collect that, and then when I'm making new clones, I can actually incorporate alien DNA to make clones that will have different stats, different strengths, different weaknesses, different abilities. And obviously if I die, I can then come back as one of those kind of slightly alien hybrid clones.
So you can't change yourself, but you can change your future selves.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Create some like mongrel human aliens. Isn't that how Aliens started?
That's, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
There's like the plot of what's it called? I've forgotten the name. Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers there. Sorry.
I wouldn't bother watching that anyway, to be honest.
Oh, I quite liked it. I thought it was very stylistic. It was well directed, and I thought it was underrated. Anyway, back to the game here. Talking about aliens, how many different types of aliens? Is there different kinds of races that will be attacking and you'll be working with?
Yeah, so we haven't settled on a final amount, I don't think, but there are distinct alien species that you will. I think at the moment we've got about 6 or 7.
And then each has got different DNA, which has different effects on your clones. We have a different effect on the way things build and progress.
Yeah.
So that will keep you playing and keep one more go. Let's see what
definitely.
happens. Can you combine multiple DNAs? Can I get like 3 aliens and a human?
No.
Wait, we're going. Wait, let's end that there. Let's not ask that question. I feel like I'm being judged now.
So the plan is for just mixing one alien DNA with one kind of human DNA. So
no kind of
we
crazy
didn't want to go
hybrid.
too crazy with it.
Well,
Not
the
yet,
thing is,
at
you
least.
have some positives, but then you get some negatives if you keep on splicing.
Yeah.
There's going to be no human left,
No
so you can't do that. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so in terms of like we've managed to gather some resources.
Yeah.
We built. So what did you just build something then, didn't you? What did you build?
So I just built a workshop which will give us access to some more weapons, which I've just collected actually. And I've actually seen that this means that there's an alien infestation on board.
No.
So
gloopity-gloop.
a lot of the smaller aliens will actually go into the tunnels beneath your ship and start laying eggs.
Oh right. Oh god.
So I need to find out where they are exactly.
It's a right struggle, isn't it, living in space?
So what we wanted to make sure was that there's a risk and reward kind of gameplay loop. So obviously you want these new materials, but there's always a risk with sending your crew down to a planet.
Yeah, sure.
And you are responsible for looking after your crew's well-being.
Yeah. And do like sort of aliens and AI like go after specific parts of your ship, like your oxygen, for example?
So what the aliens will do actually is they'll damage these around your ship. So these are energy nodes.
Right.
And if too many energy nodes, there's alien eggs.
Oh, there we are.
Too many energy nodes are damaged in a certain part of the ship, then that part of the ship will actually blow up.
Oh wow. Okay. So it's not just like it goes offline; that will get blown up. You lose those resources, I imagine.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I'm in the middle of a bit of an alien infestation.
You are knee deep, aren't you?
Well, it's a really nice gameplay blend between the first-person shooting, between the tower management, building, and then also building your ship, and having to manage them resources. But in a third-person game. You know, games like this are normally in a third-person or a top-down perspective. Doing it in a first-person perspective is going to allow for a lot more immersion.
This is what I really love about this game. Actually, is that it's doing things that you often see in indie games, and it is still an indie game, but has AAA production values.
Yeah.
Like it looks gorgeous, and to be able to like instantly build parts of your ship and then see them just like that realized in full 3D and be able to explore them, it feels great.
That is really cool. So in terms of, I imagine we're only scratching the surface here for the amount of stuff that you can get in terms of like shipbuilding and stuff like that. But is there any other surprises or exciting things that we need to see? Is there any like defense management or anything we've got going on?
So what I'll do actually is I will go and set up a kind of a bit of a defensive area here.
Okay.
So again, a lot of people can play the game probably in different ways. They'll have different strategies. So you can set up energy barriers like this, which will prevent them coming through.
Okay.
I set up those turrets earlier. What I normally like to do is actually set them up in the tunnels as well. And then what it means is that when, because if you end up having multiple hangars, you can't necessarily always be there to protect it.
No.
So you can just make sure that, if any aliens do come on board, that you are kind of prepared for them. So if you see, this is the map of just the local area, and it will tell you what planets have in terms of resources.
Yeah.
So for instance, this one has sulfur and uranium, and also what you can do is see if it's a very dangerous planet. So this one is a low-level danger planet.
Right. Okay.
But it's
So is that like less likely to find aliens, or like
Exactly.
less? Okay, right, that makes sense.
So it's always the likelihood that you will encounter alien life forms.
So you could just have nothing come on board and you're fine, and then you don't have to worry about anything, right? Okay.
It makes it fun to demo to people because I never know exactly what's going to happen.
Because nothing might happen. Or in our case, we've had everything happen, which is awesome. I like this sort of like tactical mechanic as well. So you might want to spend a lot of your resources making sure that you are as defended as possible, or you might want to gamble a little bit and spend those resources on something else instead. Yeah.
So there's things like with the workshop that I built over here, what you can do is invest kind of time and technology into creating new weapons and defenses. So you'll start off with some basic weapons like a shotgun and a pistol, but as you explore, you can gather new technologies through missions. So like I mentioned, it's not a massive kind of story-heavy game, but there are kind of elements of lore throughout the galaxy. So what I can do is show you an example of a transmission. So transmissions you'll encounter throughout your journey, and they're almost like radio transmissions that will come through, and it will be kind of giving you a task, an objective, something that you need to do, a place you need to go to in order to carry on gaining more technology.
That's really cool.
So for instance, this one, a wrecked general ballistics trading ship has been found, so there's technology and loot that we can get by going to a certain location.
Right, okay.
So what we'll have to do is actually travel throughout the galaxy map using our hyperdrive.
But it's risk and reward, right? I mean, you're not necessarily going to find something bad there, or it could be plain sailing, you just don't know because it's procedural. So you might end up with the worst possible start.
I bet it's space pirates. It's always space pirates in my experience.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like aliens that come back on board the harvester either. So if you look at the map here, there's kind of the red areas, and they are more dangerous for different reasons. So for instance, this one has a sunstorm in that area. This one has asteroids. Certain alien species can actually come on board your ship, even if you don't send out a harvester.
Just while you're knocking about, someone's like, "Oh man, that's I don't want to have that."
So
that's
there's
too difficult.
They might be friendly. They might be just wanting to chill and share their knowledge of the universe with us.
I mean, my experience of games is that they tend to not be friendly, but
That's true. Yeah, but we never know. I mean, I can't get over the aesthetic of that PC. Like, as a geek that loves it's that old school Windows kind of 386 kind of look. It's
In our cloning laboratories, new clones can be created and added to the crew. Biomass is the basic material for every cloning procedure. We will probably find new life forms and extract their DNA to improve our crew. Thanks to superior genetics, advanced technologies, we are also able to combine human DNA with DNA we collect in outer space. This feature gives us the amazing option to create perfectly specialized beings for the Genesis program.
Life form detected.
New captain promoted.
Processing.
Cloning done. New clone has been welcomed. Greetings, Captain. I hope you have a productive and successful day. We scanned the system further and identified a planet that features a proper biosphere for humanoid settlers. Following our directive, we should reach this planet as soon as we are prepared to face possible hazards in that area.